Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is RBT and welcome to my brand new Madden 17 Connected Franchise series. You guys have been voting on which team we're going to be using for this new Connected Franchise series for the past couple episodes of my Browns Connected Franchise, and I have officially sold the Cleveland Browns and have bought, as voted by you guys, the Houston Texans. I gave you guys 5 options to vote for, and as of right now, the time I'm recording this, with 8,708 total votes, the Houston Texans won with 25.45% of the vote. In second place came the 49ers with 20.79%, in third was the Chicago Bears with 19.67%, fourth place was the Eagles with 18.56%, and with the Dallas Cowboys coming in last place with 15.54%. Now, I saw a lot of people in the last episode of the Browns Connected Franchise kind of panicking because they're like, the Texans aren't necessarily a team that needs a rebuild. All they need is a new quarterback and blah, blah, blah. Well, first of all, this is going to be the new rosters in this franchise. So all the rosters that's going to be in Madden 18 will be in this particular Connected Franchise. So we're going to have the new rookies and everything like that. And I think a lot of people that understood that voted for the Texans because they want to see Deshaun Watson as the starting quarterback. And that's who we're going to have in this franchise, is starting off with Deshaun Watson at quarterback and see how he is going to do. So in this first initial episode, this is technically going to be an intro. We're going to go over the team and see where we necessarily need to rebuild. And just like in the Browns Connected Franchise series, you guys are going to be suggesting who we trade for throughout this series. So go ahead. You might want to wait until, we go over the depth chart and everything, but leave your trade suggestions in the comment section below. And just like in the Browns franchise, the comments with the most thumbs up will be the ones featured in next episode, and we will be going after those particular players. So hopefully you guys are excited for this new Connected Franchise series. We're going to be hopefully rebuilding the Texans into a Super Bowl championship team. Unfortunately, we couldn't quite get it done with the Cleveland Browns. It took a lot of trades and a lot of your guys' suggestions to get the Browns as good as we got them. Got to the AFC Championship game, but fell just short of the Super Bowl. But hopefully in this series, we can actually get a Super Bowl ring. The Texans have been a team that's been atop of the AFC South of recent years, but have really yet to reach that next level and compete for Super Bowls every single year. And hopefully in this franchise, we're going to turn things around, rebuild the Texans, and turn them into a Super Bowl contender. And I know everybody's not going to be happy with this selection, but the fairest thing for me to do, obviously, was go with the majority vote. And like I said, the Texans won the straw poll, so that's who we're going to be doing this Connected Franchise series with. And in this first episode, like I said, we're not going to be attempting any trades, but if we can hit 2,000 likes on today's episode, I'll come out with the first real episode of this series tomorrow. So the first trades attempted and everything with you guys' suggested comments in the next episode will come out tomorrow if we can hit 2,000 likes. And one last thing before we do jump into today's introductory episode, I'm going to be doing a giveaway in honor of this new Connected Franchise series. Since you guys supported the Browns one so much, I'm going to be giving away a copy of the GOAT edition of Madden 18 to one of you guys. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is go follow me on Instagram, and if you're already following me, you don't have to do anything else, but go follow me on Instagram and leave your Instagram name in the comment section below on this video. Whether you're already following me or if you go and follow me, leave your Instagram name as a comment, and I'm going to pick one of you lucky subscribers probably in the next couple days, and I'll go ahead and DM you on Instagram once I do pick a winner, and you'll win yourself a copy of the GOAT edition of Madden 18. And with that said, let's officially jump into the new Houston Texans Connected Franchise. So obviously we're going to be an owner, and since I sold the Cleveland Browns and I've just bought the Houston Texans, obviously I'm going to be a financial, and I still don't know how to pronounce that word. Is it mogul? Mogul? Moogle? Muggle? I don't know. But of course I'm going to be myself as the owner of the Houston Texans. The only reason I'm an owner is because you really get more control over the franchise as an owner opposed to a coach. And the settings are going to be exactly like they were in my Cleveland Browns Connected Franchise series. We're going to keep relocation settings as normal, keep on injury. We're going to turn off pre-existing injury, although I don't think it's really going to matter at this point because everybody's uninjured on the new rosters. Practice squad ceiling is going to stay on. We're going to put player progression frequency to weekly. Going to up the quarter length to 7. We're going to keep accelerated clock on, minimum play clock 20. Going to keep all of this the same. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I also have to adjust the sliders, but they're going to be exactly the same as they were in the Cleveland Browns series, so no problem there. And I think we're golden and can go ahead and jump into the preseason. So like I said, the most important part of this first episode is going to be seeing what positions we really need to upgrade in this series and trade for players in the next couple episodes. First of all, we are going to be building this team around Deshaun Watson. He is a 74 overall in these rosters, so we're going to have to see how he plays. I mean, 74 isn't that good, but he can progress. Maybe he plays really bad in the preseason, and eventually you guys want me to go after another quarterback, but we're going to see how he does in the preseason and maybe assess that later. But as of right now, Deshaun Watson is our main man moving forward. Now, I definitely want to get myself a star running back. We had Derrick Henry, and we had Ezekiel Elliott in the Browns Connected franchise, so we had two talented running backs. Maybe we can keep Lamar Miller or use him as trade bait later on, but I definitely want to get at least one more very good running back. Now, I do want to say, when you're suggesting the players in the comment section below for me to trade for, if you could try to suggest different players from the Browns Connected franchise series so we can keep things kind of new. I don't want to keep trading for the same players. Like, I don't want to trade for Derrick Henry and Ezekiel Elliott again, unless you guys really want me to. So try to keep them a little bit different than the Browns series, but I mean, if you absolutely have to, go ahead, but that's just my suggestion. So we do have Lamar Miller, Alfred Blue, Donta Foreman from Texans, a rookie, and Akeem Hunt. But like I said, I definitely want to add at least one more talented running back. At fullback, we have Jay Prosh, very solid fullback. Don't think we have to do anything there. Now, at wide receiver, I want to get at least one more star receiver. Will Fuller's pretty decent as a rookie. Well, I guess technically at this point he's in his second year as an NFL player, but still says rookie. But we have two really good wide receivers, but aside from that, there's not much there. So I want at least one more very good receiver and maybe another decent one alongside DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller. We had like 5 very talented receivers in the Browns franchise. We might not need 5 because we're not going to have as much to trade away in this franchise as we did with the Cleveland Browns, because they had like multiple draft picks. We still have a solid amount of draft picks, but not as much as we had in the Browns. So it's going to be harder to get as many players as we did with the Browns franchise, but I'm going to try to be a magician and get everybody that you guys want me to get. Now at tight end, we have a solid tight end in CJ Fedorowicz, but maybe we could upgrade there. We probably need another tight end, definitely, probably at least one more. And now our offensive line is decent. Dwayne Brown, a 87 overall, pretty freaking good. At left guard, we might need an upgrade at left guard. Xavier Su'a-Filo, a 73 overall, so I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about that. I think the Browns franchise, we ended up with everybody on the offensive line over 80 overall, so hopefully we can redo that in this franchise. Greg Mance isn't necessarily a #1 need, but if we could upgrade that, we have 2 really good centers here. So that's interesting. Maybe we can trade one of these guys away. So that's something we could look into, or I don't know. Maybe we could trade both these guys away for an 80+ center. I don't know. All up to you guys. Now at right guard, still average. I thought this offensive line was better than this. It's kind of average. So maybe we could upgrade right guard, but it's not a #1 priority. And at right tackle, yeah, we're gonna definitely need a better right tackle. Now moving on to defense. I don't necessarily think we're going to need a new left end because we have a pretty good left end in J.J. Watt. After I go over the depth chart, there are a couple untouchable players I'm going to lock in for the series who we can't trade away. I think in the Browns franchise, we ended up keeping like 2 or 3 players that was originally on the Browns. So I'm probably going to do that in this one. We might have a little bit more than 2 or 3, but I'll name them in just a second. J.J. Watt obviously is going to be one of them. Now at right end, we have a pretty good right end as well, Jadeveon Clowney. So I'm pretty sure we don't need any different defensive ends in this series. Now at defensive tackle, we might need an upgrade here. We do have a decent rookie in DJ Reader from Clemson, but I think we definitely probably need a little bit better depth, at least at the position, because this guy probably will progress throughout the series since he's so young, but I'm not really sure if I'm really happy with our defensive tackle depth. Now, left outside linebacker, got a pretty good player here in Whitney Marsalis, so we don't need to upgrade that. At middle linebacker, we have 2 very good players, so maybe we trade one of these guys away and bring in another middle linebacker that you guys want me to bring in, but it's not necessarily a #1 need. But I know you guys are going to be suggesting a lot of middle linebackers, so we're probably going to bring in one of the guys that you want as I trade one of these guys out for another position of need, so hopefully that makes sense. But I want to get at least one middle linebacker that you guys want me to get. Since we already have like 2 really good ones, we probably end up trading one of these guys away. Now, right outside linebacker, definitely need an upgrade here. This guy is another rookie, Zach Cunningham, who can end up being very good, but as of right now, I want this team to be as good as possible, so we're going to need probably a new outside linebacker. Now, at cornerback, this is where we're going to need some upgrades, definitely, because this secondary, this cornerback crew is pretty crappy. Kevin Johnson's decent, Jonathan Joseph is decent, Kareem Jackson is decent, and after that is a bunch of crap. Like, we don't have any really good cornerbacks. We just have a bunch of 3 average guys and then a bunch of crap behind that. So we're definitely going to need 1, 2, maybe 3 corners, and maybe bring in a bunch of really good guys and trade some of these guys out as trade bait elsewhere, and then bring in some good corners to replace them. But that's all going to be seen in the near future. Now at free safety, we might need a whole new secondary. Yeah, So I think one of the main objectives early on is to improve the secondary, because this secondary isn't too good. Like, we have a bunch of average guys. It's not pathetic, but it's pretty bad. It's borderline bad and very bad. Or maybe actually it might be pathetic. It's not necessarily pathetic, but it's pretty freaking bad. Now, kicker, I think we're fine at kicker and punter with these two guys. I mean, we don't really need to have anybody amazing there. And at kick returner, we have another rookie in Wendell Williams, who we have no idea where he went to college at. And at punt returner, we have the same exact guy. So, pretty much, in recap, I think we're going to need another running back. We're going to need maybe 1 or 2 wide receivers, possibly. I had a lot of people saying, once they saw the straw poll was heavily in favor of the Texans, that they weren't excited, or we shouldn't use the Texans because they didn't really need a rebuild. Like, aside from the linebacker core and the defensive ends, we need a pretty big rebuild to happen in Houston for us to be a contender in this connected franchise series. Like, aside from the left tackle, our interior and the right side of the offensive line needs to probably be upgraded. Defensive tackle definitely, and one of the outside linebacker positions as well, and then like the whole entire secondary. So you guys have a lot of work to do in the comment section below, because this team looks pretty bad. Now, something very important in terms of trades, we do have $37.5 million in cap room, which is a pretty good bit. With the Browns, I think we had roughly $50 million, maybe a little bit more than that, so we had a lot to work with there. And in this one, we still have a pretty good bit. There's a lot of teams with like 10 million, 15 million, so we have a pretty good amount of money to work with at $37.5 million. Now, in terms of draft picks we had to trade away, we have a first round pick, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So we have a bunch of draft picks we can trade away. We don't have any extra ones, but we do have 7 that we can potentially trade away. This is probably going to be another one-year franchise like the Browns one, so we can use another team at the end of this one. Hopefully can go through quicker and finish quicker than the Browns one did, so we can use another team, because I know a lot of people have their favorite team they want to see. So I want to use as many teams as possible, but still have a full season and try to win the Super Bowl. And with that said, we probably can trade away these 2018 draft picks as well. So those all are available, even the first round draft pick as well. Now, with us having $37.5 million in cap room, we can maybe spend a little bit of that in free agency if we absolutely have to. And if we do that, we need to do that in next episode, because a lot of these guys will probably be signed by next week. And if you guys do want to see me sign some of these players, let me know in the comment section below, and if I see any with a lot of thumbs up, I will be sure to sign these free agents. Now, there's a couple decent ones. We have a center that we could potentially get, Will Montgomery. He's a little bit older, but I mean, he's higher than what we have, just by 2 or 3 overall. But then maybe if we sign him, we could trade one of those centers away. Gotta keep in mind, we have to be as smart as we possibly can with potential trade bait. Now, the positions that we need, at quarterback, we might could use a backup quarterback. RG3, maybe Colin Kaepernick. And aside from that, Michael Vick's still in the game at 63 overall, but he's officially retired in real life, but he's still in the game. Johnny Manziel at 61, so there's really not much aside from maybe RG3 and a couple other guys that we could use as a backup quarterback. Now, at running back, we have Arian Foster available. Do you guys want me to bring back Arian Foster as a backup running back, or do you want me to get a better running back than Arian Foster to have as a backup running back or a number 1 running back? So now moving on to wide receivers, I don't think there's much in the wide receiver pool. Yeah, we have Andre Johnson, Roddy White, Riley Cooper, Wes Welker, so nobody really that can help me out there. Unless you guys want to see one of these guys, maybe bring Andre Johnson and Arian Foster back to the Houston Texans. That would be crazy, at least. And now at tight end, there's Gary Barnidge. So if we need a solid backup tight end, we have a couple guys right here, maybe Brandon Myers or Owen Daniels, but let me know if you want to see one of these guys signed. And keep in mind, though, I can't be signing every free agent because we need some of that money to use when we're trading away players. Now, the offensive line, I'm going to go ahead and go through these positions so you guys can just see if there's anybody that you want me to sign, because there's some decent ones here that could be upgrades, except at right tackle, these guys are trash. Now, we don't need any defensive ends because we have J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney, so that's going to be pretty sick. Maybe we sign one of these defensive tackles because our defensive tackle depth is awful. I'd like to potentially bring Terrence Cody to the Houston Texans, but that's up to you guys. Now, we do need an outside linebacker, so take note of who is available in the outside linebacker positions. We have a couple of decent guys, DeAndre Levy, Jason Babbitt, who is older, but that's normally what you have in free agency. And just in case you want to see, there's, some bunch of crap, really, at the middle linebacker position. Now, we do need to take note of the secondary players that are in free agency. We have Darrelle Revis, but is he really worth $4.47 million to milk the last couple years out of his career in Houston? It's up to you guys. And aside from that, it looks like our main targets at the cornerback position are going to have to come via trade. Now, free safety, Louis Delmas, another veteran, but is he really worth $2.5 million when we could go and trade for somebody else Larry Asante is maybe another option as a backup. And last but not least, at the strong safety position, we have William Moore, a bunch of decent strong safeties. Intrell Roll, another veteran. But are these guys really worth it at a 78 overall to pay like $2.5 million when we need to spend that as wisely as possible? Now, in terms of the playbooks, I'm going to be using the same exact offensive and defensive playbooks that I use in the Cleveland Browns franchise, which is the Cincinnati Bengals offensive playbook. And also we're going to be using the New England Patriots defensive playbook, which I really like. Now, I am open to changing the offensive playbook. The reason I'm sticking with the Bengals is because it's the one I've used all year long for Ultimate Team and franchise. So if you guys have any suggestions for very good playbooks with the skill set that we do have on offense, let me know in the comment section below, and I will potentially trade it if you guys have a playbook that you think I could use with this team that we have, and maybe we can build towards a team that can really shine with a particular playbook. I know we do have our base defense as a 4-3 going into this franchise, but I want to transition into a 3-4 because that's what I feel comfortable using. I like the Patriots playbook because it's like a multiple defense. You can run 4-3, 3-4, but with our skill set, two very good rushing defensive ends, and then we have no defensive tackle, so I don't really see why we should be using the 4-3 defense when we have a lot of talented linebackers and potentially going to bring some more in. So that's why I want to run the 3-4. I'm just going to set this to balanced offense, and like I said, we'll just run a hybrid defense. Now, the way I'm going to run this connected franchise is just like in the previous series, where at the beginning of every episode up until the trade deadline, we make a bunch of trade attempts that you guys suggest for the first half of the video. We play the game in the second half of the video. Now, I did an individual episode for each preseason game for the past connected franchise series, but that took a little bit too long to get into the regular season. So what I'm going to do for this series is they're going to run the same exact way. The first half of the video is going to be trade attempts and such, but I'm going to play 2 games in the preseason per episode, but I'm only going to play the moments for the preseason games just so I can play 2 games per episode and it's not like a 50-minute video. And same thing for the second episode, and then after that we'll jump into the regular season when we'll have 1 game per episode along with trade attempts and such. So hopefully that makes sense, and I'm pretty sure I've covered absolutely everything for this introductory episode into my new connected franchise series, which you guys hopefully are very excited about. I am excited about it. I like the talent that we do have, although we have a lot of positions that we do need to upgrade, but I'm very excited to build this team around Deshaun Watson, and I'm glad we have all the new rookies in the game. If you guys do want to see like the overalls of all the players and everything, all the rookies, let me know in the comment section below, and I might show that at the beginning of the next episode, because I know a lot of you guys might be interested in some of the rookie ratings, like maybe a Leonard Fournette, maybe a Mitch Trubisky. Let me know. I'll be sure to make that happen. Now, be sure to leave your comments for trade suggestions in the comment section below to have a chance to have your trade featured in next episode, and I will obviously, if I feature your comment, go after that trade in next episode. So hopefully you guys did enjoy and are excited as I am, and like I said, 2,000 likes on this introductory episode, and I will bring out the first real episode with trade attempts tomorrow, so be sure to drop a like if you are excited. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will catch you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Let's be great. Peace.